Hey, remember you told me about your high school friends?
Yes, I do remember telling you about my friends from high school. We keep in touch and catch up every now and then.
What about your best friend from high school?
My best friend from high school was probably my closest friend at the time, Melissa. We had a lot of fun together and I still keep in touch with her. We chat online and catch up on what's been going on in our lives. It's nice to have someone to talk to.
So, besides Melissa, what other high school friends do you still keep in contact with?
Yes, besides Melissa, I still keep in touch with a few other friends from high school. We usually catch up on social media or text each other. We usually talk about our current lives and what we've been up to since high school. It's nice to stay connected with them and keep.
All right, so that was Rhea, all right, REIA, what I built using React Native and on top of a model from OpenAI, which is very, very similar to ChatGPT, right? Intrigued? Let's get into it. All right, so to understand how I built Rhea, okay, we have to go into ChatGPT, right, to see how it works, right? And for those of you who are new or if you have not heard about ChatGPT, right, think of ChatGPT as the latest advancement in AI, natural language processing, right? So it also understands context, which is something very different from your traditional language models trained from, say, for example, TensorFlow, right? But let's get right into it. Yeah. Okay, so here we are at ChatGPT, right? So to understand how ChatGPT works, okay, let's try talking to it. Yeah. Maybe we'll start with hello there. All right. Hello there. Okay. Let's say, how are you feeling today? Let's see what it does. Okay. 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 What about what languages do you know? Okay. Many languages. Same level of fluency in all of them. English, Spanish. Okay, that's a lot actually. Okay, so for example, let's say, how do you say good morning in Spanish? Good morning is buenos dias. There are ways to greet someone in the morning. Okay. All right. So what? Okay, so this is where it gets important, right? Okay, remember I talk about context. Okay, so what does that mean? Right, so notice here when we say, so what does that mean? ChatGPT is able to know that we were referring to Buenos Dias, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm not a Spanish speaker, obviously. Okay, but here you can see that ChatGPT knows that we are referring to good morning in Spanish because, okay, if we scroll up here, okay, we ask, right, previously we asked, how do you say good morning in Spanish? Yeah, so this is the context that ChatGPT knows. Right, so in a way, because of this context awareness, right, ChatGPT is one of the more natural conversationalists. Yeah. I mean, as compared to what came before it. Yeah. Okay, so to demonstrate the difference between having context and no context, okay, we're going to copy this. So what does that mean? And we're going to refresh the page, right? So now we are starting from a clean slate, right, with ChatGPT. And if we say, so what does that mean, right? See what ChatGPT says, right? It says, can you please provide more context for your question? Yeah. So in a way, right now, ChatGPT is limited in this way, in a sense that it only knows the context for the current session. Yeah. All right. So how does ChatGPT knows about the context? Right. So to understand how ChatGPT works, right, by being aware of the context, okay, we have to take a look at the inspector, yeah, and see what is being sent, right, as a network request. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to just refresh the page, right, to reset the context, yeah, or the session. All right. Okay. So let's say we say hello there. All right. So notice right off the bat we have two fetches, right, ongoing. Okay. Right now it is taking a while for hello there to appear. I mean, for the response to appear. All right. So you can see right off the bat, we are hitting two endpoints here. Okay. If you take a look at the right inspector here, let me just do this so you can see. Okay. So the first endpoint is hitting is this chat.openapi.com/backend-api/moderations. What I'm guessing is hitting this endpoint to check if whatever text you entered is it safe, yeah? So that's why it's going through moderation, yeah? Okay, and here we can see that it's sending the text hello there, right, which is what we just typed, all right? Yeah? Okay, and once again, after the response has been printed out, right, on the left here, okay, we can see that a third endpoint, okay, or rather a third request happens, and we can see that the input here, right, encompasses including what you said and what the chat GPT responded with, right? So for example, if we type the same thing, how do you translate good morning to Spanish, for example? Right, let's wait for it. Seems like chat GPT might be overloaded now. All right. Okay, so it says good morning is translated as buenos dias, good days. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at moderation. Same thing. Conversation. Right. Conversation. Basically, the endpoint is just sending. Okay, what we said. Yeah. So you can see that how do you translate good morning to Spanish? Yeah. So this is basically what we just typed. The latest phrase here that we just typed. All right. And moderations, you can see once again. Okay, it's including everything from the start, right? So you can see we started from hello, how can I help you today? Okay, but we say hello there, and it responded with hello, how can I help you today? All the way to in Spanish. Yeah. So in a way, it is keeping track of the context by sending all this text. Yeah. The entire conversation between you and ChatGPT to the endpoint, right? So in a way, this is how it's keeping track of the context, yeah? And so that is why for Ria, what I did for storing or making the app context aware is to store the conversation on the phone itself. Yeah, so no data is stored anywhere besides the phone itself, right? So that is done using React Native MMKV as a storage package. Yeah, so it knows what conversation you had previously. Yeah, so that was how Rhea knows about the high school friends that we talked about previously in a previous conversation. Yeah. All right. So does that mean that anyone can leverage on ChatGPT's endpoints, right, to create their own chatbot? Unfortunately, the answer is a straight no, because OpenAI has recently started to block external calls to their endpoints. It's quite obvious their endpoints are here, right, for all to see, right? Backend-API/moderations and conversation. Yeah. So they have started blocking external calls to these two APIs, right? So I wouldn't count on it, right? So instead for Ria, okay, what I did was, okay, if you go to OpenAI, right, you can see that OpenAI does include API for you to use, right? And also you can choose what model you want to use for their API. And of course, I'm still on the free tier, as you can see. And I only have $18 credit all the way to 1st April. Yeah, so if you try out Rare, I will put the link for the Android version in the description below or the top comment below. Yeah, I mean, it might not work due to the limit here eventually. Yeah. All right, so for Rare, okay, the model I used was DaVinci 3, yeah, which is the most, according to OpenAI, right, the most capable, right, GPT-3 model, yeah. So you can see that this is the most updated model as well. You can see the training data is up to June 2021, yeah. So in a way, if we go back to ChatGPT, right, you can see that, okay, the model here used by ChatGPT is actually text-DaVinci 002, right? In a way, it is a slightly variation of the 002 version of DaVinci, yeah. And for Rhea, we're using 003, even though ChatGPT might sound more natural in a way, yeah. Yeah, so that means, right, for Rhea, I also built an endpoint, a backend, because, okay, I do want to keep my API keys safe, yeah, right? That is where we are using our API key from OpenAI, right, at the back end. And the mobile app, right, Rhea, is just hitting the backend that I built, right, using just simple Node.js and Express. Yeah, it's nothing too complex. Yeah. All right. First, let's take a look at the backend. Yeah. So let's jump to our VS Code. Right. You can see over here we have our backend. Right. It's really nothing too complex, like what I've just mentioned. Right. Simple Node.js and Express. Yeah. And at one of the endpoints, okay, basically we just call OpenAI. Okay, and to tell OpenAI, hey, we want to use the DaVinci text 003 model, and we want to send the chat content as the prompt parameter, right? And the various configurations you can do here. Okay, and right, so this is basically telling DaVinci 3, hey, continue the conversation with what we just said, right, from the front end mobile app, right, which is Rhea. Yeah, and then once we have the response from the API using our env API key, which I'm obviously not going to show here, yeah, okay, we'll send the response back, yeah, to the mobile app, which is Rhea. And from there, Rhea will use text to speech to speak out the text, yeah. All right, now let's take a quick look at the mobile app Rhea that I built with React Native. Let's go. All right, so now we're at the React Native project for Rhea. You can see that, okay, we are using voice, React Native voice for the speech result, right? So that the app can capture what you said, convert it to text. And over here, if we say that, okay, if we check that you have said something to the app, right, via your voice, right, of course, it will be converted to text, yeah, and we'll send what you said, right, as part of a conversation to the backend, which you saw previously, yeah. So in a way, it's nothing too complicated. Yeah, of course, I did it by adding some animations on top of it as well, yeah. All right, so what do you think about Rhea, the app that I've built using React Native and ChatGPT? Right, let me know your thoughts. And if you would like to play around with Rhea, okay, I will put the link to the Google Play Store, right, for the Android version in either the description box below or the top pin comment, right? And as always, be sure to subscribe to not miss out on any new such videos, right? Just one more thing before we go. Hey, tell everyone to stay awesome and stay safe.
Got it. I'll tell everyone to stay awesome and stay safe.